Hello. Let me start off by saying happy Thanksgiving to all my friends and family in the United States. And let me get to what's going through my head. There was a shooting in D.C. where two National Guardsmen were killed. They were apparently killed by someone Biden let in back in 2021 from Afghanistan. Now, let's talk about Afghanistan quickly. Okay, that's the people who were rushed out of Afghanistan who were in danger because of the timeline set in motion by Donald J. Trump. Now, Donnie released more than 5,000 terrorists back into population. Where do you think they went? Okay. Now, after that, he sets up a date to remove all the troops from Afghanistan by May of 2021. Why May? Because Donald Trump knew he was going to lose the 2020 election. So he wanted to make it as hard as possible on the incoming people. Now, if he was president, in that brain of his, which was already showing signs of dementia back then, he thought, if I'm president, they'll do as I say because they like me. I'm the good guy. I'm the good president. I'm the best president the United States has ever had, with tears running down their faces. They would have capitulated to Donald Trump, right? No. Biden tried to get everything pushed off to a much later date because he knew how long it would take to get all the troops back from Afghanistan. That didn't work out. The Taliban would not go past August of 2021. It wound up being a rush job. What was left behind belonged to the Afghanistan people. What was left behind that was destroyed were things we didn't want them to have from the United States. I'm a dual citizen. So before you take that Thanksgiving thing that I said to my U.S. friends, yeah, I'm up in Canada. So ultimately, that fell on Donald Trump. 13 service members were killed with the bugging out of Afghanistan. And that's what it was. It was a bugging out. There were 5,000 extra people put on these terrorist Afghanistan government. Let's face facts. Because all the ground that we helped them make, Donald Trump legitimized the terrorists over the legitimate government of Afghanistan. Donald Trump doesn't care about human lives unless it crawls into his front yard. Now, with that, these people came over here. This man who shot those two service members was living in Washington State, clear across the country from D.C. And here goes the finger pointing from both sides. The left, myself included, holding our collective breaths, hoping this wasn't one of ours. It wasn't. It wasn't part of the right either. He was granted asylum. I think they said it was August 2025. Or was it April 2025? Doesn't matter. He was granted asylum by Donald Trump's government. Who cares? Who actually cares? The fact of the matter is, this man who came to the United States was somehow pressed to go and kill two members of our service, of our military. I've got one question. Why? Why? when he left Afghanistan? Why? When he felt it necessary to come here. You know what's in Washington State? Seattle. Not MS-13, not a gang member, but somebody who is seeing and hearing about ICE marching in and taking people that look like him, snatching them off the streets. They're not being seen. They're getting lost in alligator Alcatraz where they can't find all the bodies. Concentration camps. This man left Afghanistan fearing that that was what was going to be his fate when the Taliban took over. When these terrorists took over. So we've got to wonder, what was his motivation to drive or fly or whatever across the country to do this? Can we focus on the whys? Can the government focus on the whys? Can the FBI, the DOJ, Donald fucking Trump focus on the whys instead of finger pointing and further dividing the American people? Your no wars president is starting a war right on the United States grounds. He's stirring up his people. You know what's back out of the spotlight again? The Epstein files. Can we collectively get our heads out of our asses and do something? Make a difference. Start making some real progress. Do I forgive MAGA for voting him in? No, I do not. You deserve what you voted in. You deserve that. I teach my children accountability. There is consequences to every action. Consequences that they must face up to. I'm not going to shield them from it. As they get older, they get the consequence that they deserve. As they get older and progress into adulthood. But it's so painfully clear that there are so many adults that don't face up to their own responsibility because mommy and daddy threw money at the problem. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving.